Hugh Hefner, a true American icon, created an empire that was unrivaled.
Although some of his bunnies may have gone rogue, it's because of the love and respect that we received from the man behind it all.
The Rogue Bunnies mission is simple. 100 Playmates taking control of their valuable IP while honoring Hef's iconic Playboy style and bringing that experience to our collectors.
Like only we know how. Because after all, we did learn from the best.
Relive the stories from the most prominent celebrity home in history.
From those of us that lived it,
the employees that worked it,
and the guests who loved it.
And
the mayhem continues.
And we are back, part 2 with Andy Schwab, and he just surprised us. We now have Marston Hefner. Dude, hey, welcome.
Marston.
You're awesome.
Welcome to Rogue Bunnies Mayhem. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I don't think the viewers know how deep we all go here.
Oh,
like
well.
I grew up with you guys.
Yeah, I was just saying that I always feel like I'm kind of like your like big uncle. You know, I mean, I've known you since I think you were like either 4.5 or 5 years old. Well, to see you.
I think that, you know how the USSR had the Iron Curtain? Well, there was the Iron Brian Olea as kids. We would get up to no good, and you would, oh my gosh, you would bring down the hammer.
Yeah, it was part of the job, man.
It was, and you know what? Look how close we are now.
Exactly.
But, oh my gosh, that was so funny. That was like a Tom and Jerry. You know, we were like throwing oranges at each other, and you'd be chasing after us. And
yep.
We'd be getting grounded, and then we'd do it all over again. Do the whole episode, another episode next time.
I was trying to tell people what it was like for me, and we always talk about how the mansion was a family, you know? And you boys, I mean, you know I love you to death. I truly do. I love you to death, and I have always said I'll be here for, you know, as long as I'm alive, I'm here for you, man. But to see you guys grow up as little kids, and, you know, you're just like any other kid, except you get to have these awesome grounds where you can have, like, these really cool war battles, you know, and I'd get phone calls of, like, oh, my gosh, they just wrecked the game house because they had a gumball. They got into the gumball machine, and they're having gumball wars. Or, you know, you guys are setting up things throughout the property, and then watching you guys grow up, and you guys used to make movies, and you'd make all these games, and congratulations, you are a dad.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Dad.
Wow.
How much sleep are you getting these days?
You're Big Daddy now.
I'm not getting a lot of sleep, guys. I got to be honest.
No, we've all been there.
But I just wanted to say, you were talking about how we hacked the gumball. Remember how the gumballs weren't supposed to come out. And we found a way to get the gumballs out of the gumball machine, and then we throw it at each other. And then it's so funny that you guys like put a lock. You screwed the gumball machine so that we couldn't open it.
We had to. I literally had this special screwdriver in a coffee cup by my desk that was to lock that thing off because we couldn't let them get in there anymore.
The one in the game house.
Yeah, the one in the game house. Yeah. Then you boys, I love this because you guys figured it out. You didn't need the gumball machine anymore because you found behind in the van room, we had these doors that if you click on them, you could open them up, and it had the full box of gumballs.
So it was like a cybersecurity. You know, you're creating the wall to stop the hacker, and then the hacker finds another way in. And,
I mean, if it all came down to it, you just go to the store and buy some gumballs, right?
Oh, they weren't old enough to get to the store.
No,
I'm sure they could have sent someone to get.
They could have.
But you guys are being boys, and you were having fun. I would feel bad, though, is I would the offices would call down, hey, Brian, the boys did this. You need to send housekeeping out there. They need to clean up. But then they would call their mom, Kimberly.
Oh, boy.
And then I would be in the pantry, and one of the butlers would go, hey, Brian, Kimberly's on the phone. She needs to talk to you. And I'm like, hey, ma'am, how are you doing? I mean, to this day, I still call Kimberly ma'am. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, just call me Kim. I'm like, nope, it's ma'am. You know what I mean? It's just it's what it's out of respect. You know, I love Kimberly. And, so she's like, I heard the boys, what they did. You know what you need to do. And I would just cringe on the inside. I go, oh, I hate this. And I'm like,
yeah.
all right, come here, Marston. Let's talk to your mom. You got to go stand in that corner and wait for her. She's on her way. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yeah.
He's blocked it from his memory.
I know, but
I would block it too.
I was like the bad guy. I hated that, man.
I didn't know that you hated it.
Well, because I felt bad. I don't want to be the reprimand guy.
You were the timeout initiator.
Right? It was in Guy's office. You're in Guy's office?
Right. We're in the house office, but I would get a call from your mom, and then I remember she was like, I'm on my way. It would either be, tell them to go to this room and wait for me, and then I do remember a couple times, go tell them to stand in the corner.
One time, like, there was stuff that it didn't even make sense what we were doing. Like, we had shaving cream.
Oh, yeah.
Just lather on the walls of the sauna. Like, I'm trying to think of how that's even possible. What were we? I think we were doing shaving cream fights.
Yeah.
And then we had the audacity to like leave the place like a freaking mess. And then Brian gets his like camera crew over and they take Polaroid photos of it and send it to my mom. And she's like, look at what you did.
It was all fun and games, man. But again, now, you know what they say, when you become the dad, you become the parent.
Yeah.
Now, everything you did as a kid now comes back at you.
Look out.
Karma.
We'll see. This ought to be interesting.
Now, I can imagine you have multiple stories. Of course, I'm the big bad guy that had to like point out when you were younger. But Victoria, you got some fun stories, right? You too.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. You guys were always getting in trouble. I mean, I think there was one time where my ex-husband took one of you off property in his Ferrari, and it was a bad night. It wasn't you, I don't think, maybe.
It was definitely me.
I love how Victoria said that so hopeful.
And here we are.
Okay. So,
it was one of the highlights at the mansion.
Aww.
Yeah, you left
For
the property.
sure.
I don't know what he was thinking, because when he came back, he was, we just went for. I was like, what? We're never coming back. Like, this is it. And tell us what happened. Did you get in trouble? Because I didn't get in trouble, but
no, nobody got in trouble. From me. I was obsessed with Ferraris.
Yeah.
And like I wanted an Enzo Ferrari so bad. And I thought it was so cool that John and you had a Ferrari.
Yeah.
And so I was like looking at it and, I was like, I was like obsessed with it. I don't know how, but somehow I figured out it was John, your ex-husband, who had the Ferrari. And I was like just gushing with him over it with my friend. It was like a Spider 360 or something. It was like a Spider. Just a gorgeous car. Gorgeous. And he said, you want to ride in it? And I was like, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. And so me and my friend Dean and John, we drive out of the property like no problem. And John plays on full blast Bon Jovi, It's My Life. It's my life.
Nice.
And it's now or never.
and it's a convertible.
That's a
And
core memory.
we're just driving so fast
Oh my
to
God.
Bon Jovi in the Ferrari. It's like, this is the life, man. Like, I want this. Whatever this feeling is like, I want it.
I don't even know what to say. He really downplayed it because I think he got really scared because I think Mary was like, you need to come with me kind of a thing. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, I'll tell you later. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny that he did that. I wonder how he got out of the mansion grounds. I think he was very thrilled that he could even impress Hugh Hefner's children on any level. So I think it was such a high for him, a story for him to tell that he got you guys off the property in the car. But yeah, I can't believe we were still allowed up there after that.
No, it was definitely a high for me as well. So if you're listening, John. Yeah.
Jen, do you have any debauchery stories that you caused for Marston?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I was up there 2008, 2009, 2010. So I only had a small little snippet. I do remember, though, you had gotten like a puppy that was like part wolf or something.
Yeah.
That was the coolest thing ever that I've ever seen. And
what
you
happened
would just
with
let
him?
us like hold it outside. And I'm like, this is like so weird. Like so
was wild.
crazy.
I had to give him up. I was not ready to have a dog, and so
A
Part
wolf.
Part wolf. I mean,
yeah.
I
I mean,
like-
it was really the wolf was the problem part of it. But yeah, he got a great home for the record. But yeah, I mean,
good.
I wasn't. I thought a wolf was going to be like cool to have, and then it was like a wolf, you know.
Yeah.
Didn't think it through.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
I remember Easter too, but I don't want to go too far into that.
Oh, come on.
Well,
this is a safe space, remember.
Okay. I was winning every year in a row for like 7 years. I don't know.
Yes.
I won the Easter egg hunt. I had a system. And then there was cheating going on. And I was so mad. I think I tattled on you to Mary. I was like, the boys are cheating. And it's like cramping my winning streak. So.
How'd you do it?
Did they have their own egg hunts like after the party was over?
Yeah, tell us the scoop.
Okay, first of all, we got in trouble for that. So
Thanks.
But was it like before us? Was it like a legitimate playing field? Because when we joined, we kind of felt like it was the Wild West sort of thing. Like,
no, it was Wild West because you guys were allowed on the property where the eggs were, and the guests were told, no, you can't go past this point. And you guys would have your glad bags and be like, right? And you'd already be like, have a way head start.
I mean, probably you remember. I might have blocked that out. It wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe it was Cooper. Maybe it was Cooper and his friends.
I'm just like loving the fact that a full-blown adult was having a hard time that a child was cheating at an egg hunt.
Well,
at his father's house.
Father's house.
Father's house.
Like,
Yeah.
Your kid's cheating. I'm not winning.
I know. And in fact, I won so many years in a row. Like one of the last years, Hef was like, they announce like the winner, and like Hef would give me the gift and whatever. And on one of the like the 7th year in a row, he goes, "Really, Victoria?" And I was like, "Okay." So like the next year, I threw the egg hunt.
But they were good gifts.
They
right?
were great gifts.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you threw the egg hunt?
Yes.
Like you took a dive?
Well, I didn't win. Let's just put it that way. I didn't win after that. But my daughter was winning in her category after she was born.
I'd like to make a note to that we ended your streak, and then we had like a 5-year, 6-year streak.
Totally.
Yeah. So we were like we were the new era where I guess just no holds barred, because when we entered the scene, it was like free for all. Like it wasn't just us. I don't know if we started it, maybe we were, but there were other kids there who brought their friends, and they were doing the egg gathering, bringing the eggs together as well. They were probably parents putting their eggs together with their kids.
A lot of parents were cheating. Yeah, a lot of parents were cheating.
Yeah. So when we, during our era, during the second era, I'll call it, it was like the Wild West, and we were the reigning champions of that era.
Yeah, it was. Easter was a really good time. I have to say.
I just feel like on Easter, that's such a not a holiday. Cheating on an Easter egg hunt. Like I just feel.
But
like
the gifts were awesome.
The gifts were awesome.
That's the only holiday I never worked at the Playboy Mansion.
Really?
Oh, it was the best.
Oh, that was.
I've never been there for Easter. It was
ever.
Well, apparently
one of my favorites. Petting Zoo.
Yes.
The Petting Zoo.
Always bright and shining.
Yep.
It was
fun. It was just family.
Colorful balloons, umbrellas, popcorn machines, hot dog machines.
I'm sorry.
The eggs were custom.
Yes, the Easter bunny.
The eggs that you would find on the Easter egg hunt were custom painted, and some of them had Playboy bunnies on them, which were super rare. And then I would keep those for collecting purposes.
What were you going to say, Scott?
I had never been there for Easter as well, but Andrew and I are like, this sounds like a battle royale blood fest.
Oh, it was.
It was.
Well, okay. Let me talk about the
serious.
gifts. All right.
Yeah.
So the budget was huge. Mickey Pearson first used to buy all the gifts. Then after a while, he was like, yeah, I need some help. So I would help him. Hey, what are the hip things for the kids, right? One time we went through like these skateboards, and I found like this guy that had like all these cool custom skateboards down in Huntington Beach and with the cool paintings. And then Mickey had left. I got to take it over. And it was like, what are the cool things? So, I mean, people were getting iPods. Remember? iPods was a big thing. You're getting the top of the line freaking gifts. Like iPads, we're talking hundreds and
like PlayStation.
Yes.
PlayStation.
Yes.
Xboxes.
Wow. Do you remember the year that you bought that? It was like a pink bike that you sit on and the pedals are in front.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so Treese was, I think she was like 7 years old, and Shayna Moakler was married to Travis Barker.
Travis Barker. I remember
and
this.
they brought their daughter Alabama. I have pictures. My daughter has pictures with her. There was a little shenanigans going on, and she won the Easter egg hunt. And my daughter Treese was so upset because she's like,
she's nothing like her mother.
Well, they cheated, and she wanted that bike. So I had to go to Toys R Us and buy her the bike. It was like $250.
Oh, yeah, probably more. I'm telling you, our budgets are insane.
Like, oh my God, yeah. So we took all a picture. I have a picture with Treese and her friends, and Alabama's on the bike, and she's got like braids, and she's wearing she's only like 8 years old, and she's on the bike posing like it was a thing. And so Shayna and I kind of had a thing together where we're like this every Easter, like in competition.
So Easter, the claws come out.
The claws, yeah, beyond.
No wonder I wasn't allowed to go. He's right. It sounds like a blood pass.
Well, Marston, if you have a little bit more time. So, Marston, do you have a little bit more time? Because we got to go to a break. We are here with Marston Hefner. You're listening to Rogue Bunnies Mayhem.
Hi, I'm Victoria Fuller, entrepreneur, artist, and of course forever, Miss January 1996. My bunny sisters and I have joined forces, or should I say, have gone rogue, to revamp the heydays while exploring the future. Yes, I'm talking about the metaverse. So come join me and our sorority of the sexiest ladies on the planet. I promise you won't be disappointed. To join the party, find us at roguebunnies.com. That's ROGUEBUNNIES. roguebunnies.com. You want a scorching hot NFT? roguebunnies.com.
Welcome to the metaverse.
We're back, Rogue Bunnies Mayhem. We're talking with Marston Hefner. Oh, okay, we're bringing up a lot of stories. This is cool. You want to talk about Mayhem? Mayhem was happening at the Playboy Mansion.
They created the Mayhem.
And Marston, you and your brother, you lived with your mom right next door. I mean, there was literally a gate between the two properties. And you guys would have come over. We always knew when you came over, because remember it had the bell that was hanging on the gate?
Yeah, that's true.
We'd hear the bell and we're like, oh, the boys are coming over.
Oh, that's adorable.
But I'll never forget this. Do you remember when we'd have the parties? I don't know. Again, ages go in my head. I can't remember. But I remember some party, and you and your brother and a bunch of your friends, I think you were either punking or doing something with the guests. Do you recall this?
Yeah, there were parties and we weren't allowed over there because we were too young.
Yep.
And they would lock the door between my mom and my dad's house because they didn't want us over there. I don't know how. I think we climbed. We figured out how. Yeah.
Of course you did.
We'd climb on top of the doorknob and then hike ourselves over the wall. And we'd be dressed up in all black, as if we were
a ninja?
spec ops. And we'd have our airsoft guns. We'd go around the perimeter because the party was, at the center in the front yard and in the backyard. And so we'd go all the way around, you guys know, from the tennis courts to the game house, all the way around.
Through the woods.
Through the woods.
With the sound meter back there.
We'd get a perch where the golf course is.
Yes.
Behind the koi pond. Yep.
Yeah, right behind the koi pond. And we'd be there, and then we'd just and we picked and there were people who they were like,
stop.
Did a mosquito get me? What was that?
Yeah.
It was a dragonfly, I'm sure.
So they'd be smacking their faces
like what was that?
What was that? They'd be touching their
They
hats.
have the weird poke bruises the next day and not know where they got
was
them
it
from.
Nerf gun or what was it?
Airsoft. Yeah, airsoft. They're like little pellets.
They're plastic BBs.
Oh, okay.
So you wouldn't see them. It's not like a Nerf gun where you'd have this big long thing laying next to them. It's probably something they wouldn't even see.
And they wouldn't see. Oh my God.
Yes.
That's amazing.
The best, he said.
Life.
So looking at this from the viewpoint of Playboy security, right? They have
nightmare.
They have legit threats out there, stalkers, everything else. And then I gotta deal with the kids lurking in the bushes with
of things hitting me out of nowhere.
I have to ask, was it as magical for you to be on those grounds as it was for so many other people? I mean, at the time we were like, this is pretty badass that we have access to these 6 magical acres to kind of enjoy it, just being kids and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. My childhood felt like I was in a magical place rather than like a real home. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it was so much for other people. I just, growing up there, maybe you were just like, this is all we know. So this is like how cool it is. But yeah, you guys were.
It was that, but it felt like, I mean, going through the forest, it's like as a kid, when you go through that forest, it's not like a home. It's like you're in a magical
definitely.
World,
yeah. Imagination probably can run wild. And I'm sure you were very popular, your friends wanting to hang out with you at your house. More fun at your house than their house, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
Check out my private redwood grove, guys.
Well, you know what I always thought was so cool is that you and your brother were so inventive. You guys literally took those grounds and made them into these ultimate playlands. You would make these games up, anywhere from 10 to 20 kids, and you'd have everyone over and you'd have these games and these rules and you'd be playing all over the grounds, or you'd bring out video recorders and start making movies. That's pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
You guys were always so sweet too. You guys could have been really total shitheads, and you guys were always so sweet to everybody and so kind and you guys were really nice kids. We always said that, God, they're so nice. They're so sweet. You say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
And
like, I remember that too, just from being up there. We would all be in the dining room just hanging out, and you and Cooper would just come down and hang out with us, and we would just be eating and talking and what's new and what's going on. And it always just felt very like we were part of your family, and that was just so cool for all of us.
Yeah.
I know we always appreciate, how awesome you guys were always with us, because that was a special bonding,
The feeling's mutual, because when I would go over to the butler's pantry and, people were nice to me, it always felt really good.
Yeah, because that must have been weird. Like, how was that for you to just constantly have new people coming through where you're living? You're living there, but then there's always someone new sitting in the dining room. And if you walk in.
They were usually really nice, like the Playmates. And the Playmates were pretty cool. And then they were interesting because they always had something that they wanted to do with their life. They wanted to be a veterinarian, or they wanted to, so getting to know them was cool. Yeah. And then Victoria, like, I don't know, it felt like a family, like whenever I saw you and John up there, it was always, I think you guys are appreciative that I was so genuine, because it's like, it was enjoyable to see you guys and to be a part of that. And yeah, it meant a lot, like Christmases.
Yeah.
Oh,
every Christmas.
I loved Christmases with you guys.
The best.
Dude, do you remember Santa?
Christmas was so special. Santa would go up, and Mickey, this guy who would work at the mansion, he like did the whole thing. Like, there were candy canes up the driveway.
Oh, all until New Year's, you guys left them up.
Yeah, and then the tree was huge. It would go up to like the 20 feet, and there would be a train track running around it. And, man, I love Christmas so much at the mansion.
It was.
I used to always love when Santa would show up, because we had to let him in through the library, because we had that back door, that was at the front, so we could sneak him in. And then we had the chair. It was your pop's, big chair that we'd set up in the great hall, and it was so cool seeing all you kids. And then we'd start ringing the bells, and next thing you know, Santa come out, and you'd all be getting. And then that was Christmas Eve, and it'd be Christmas Eve, and then you get all your gifts, and then everyone get their gifts there. And I just thought that was so cool.
As a kid, it was really cool. It wasn't taken for granted, It was like we got to see Santa. It was awesome.
And what about freaking 4th of July? The fireworks show.
My favorite holiday at the Playboy Mansion is definitely 4th of July.
I want to know if the boys were the reason that the baby oil had to be taken away from the slip and slides, because I feel like that's I feel like the baby oil would be like something they would have done.
It was. Yeah, we got
it. Because for like weeks before 4th of July in the tanning beds, the baby oil was gone. Like there was no baby oil for the tanning beds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the slip and slide was up, and but it wasn't lubricated or something. And so we would take baby oil.
I knew it was you guys deep down. Oh my God.
Marston, can you explain what you mean when you say slip and slide, though? I mean, slip and slide.
That's a good point. So there's this hill, like this giant hill at my dad's house. If you guys can describe it better.
Yeah, the sloping hill. It had about 2 or 3 tiers that went down. Yeah.
And they put a slip and slide down this giant steep hill, which was crazy. It was for 4th of July, but obviously us kids at 11 p.m., wanted to do the slip and slide and get crazy. So I think we would put baby oil on us, and then we just zip down it. And so that's why there was no baby oil.
The problem was then the girls would go down it in their bikinis, and then they would like literally like
they go flying
launch
because they would be testing the slip and slide the night before and having a blast, and now the whole thing's all oiled up.
But the sloping hill went down to the driveway up.
Well, that's why we had
the front gate.
Well, that's why we had to make a pool.
Yeah.
Eventually, it had that big inflatable pool at the end.
You wind up on Charing Cross Drive.
Yeah, it was
on the back 9 of the Wilshire Country Club.
Out by the Talking Rock going, hi, I was on the slip and slide. Can I come back in now?
Marston, we're going to take one last break. We're going to come back because I want to talk about what you're up to now. We're going to be right back. We are here with Marston Hefner on Rogue Bunnies Mayhem.
Hi, I'm Victoria Fuller, Miss January 1996. My bunny sisters and I have joined forces, or should I say, have gone rogue, to revamp the heydays while forging forward into the future. Yes, I'm talking about the metaverse. So come join me and our sorority of the sexiest ladies on the planet. I promise you won't be disappointed. To join the party, find us at roguebunnies.com. That's ROGUEBUNNIES.com. Get in the game. Build your collection. Go to roguebunnies.com. You'll find us there.
Welcome to the metaverse.
We're back. We're having so much fun talking about the memories. I mean, I feel so honored and blessed, Marston, to have gotten to watch you grow up into such an amazing man. I mean, I'm so proud of you. I really am. I am so proud of you, the man that you've become. You've always been very gracious, and you're very professional in what you want to do with your life. I got to go to your book signing. That was cool. Congratulations again. You did it at Book Soup?
Book Soup.
Yeah, Book Soup. Yeah,
Sunset.
And I have it. It's that book sits right there with the short stories right there on my coffee table in my living room. I just look at that and I go, are you working on any more?
Yeah, I am. I'm working on. I'm so embarrassed to talk about writing, but I'll do my best. So I've been a writer for like 12 years now. I basically like take weed every now and then to kind of like direct me on reigniting my passion or finding my purpose or where I've gone lost, because I'll do something that works and I'm really enjoying it. And then the machine part of me doing it over and over again, kind of like my dad was, I kind of lose the passion. So I took some weed to kind of figure out how to get back to it. And
we all do it. It's fine.
As one does.
And so it was just like, get rid of the idea that I'm a writer and get rid of the idea that there are like these hours that I have to do writing. So like kind of like these narrowing, open it up a little bit. I've been creating a world rather than writing a novel. And so I've been learning how to draw. I've been doing JavaScript and HTML coding stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And writing. So the idea is that like I love comics. And so the idea is that there will be a comic on the webpage, but you can interact with it. So like, it's not like a comic that you read through linearly, but you can choose like, okay, this is happening and I want to go through that door. So it'll be like a world. I think of it as like interactive fiction.
I love it.
It sounds a lot like something we've been talking about doing.
I know. We're going to talk after the show.
Have you been following what the girls are doing with the Rogue Bunnies?
No.
You guys have to have a conversation. It's totally what you're talking about.
Well, I want to talk about what he's doing.
Yes, exactly.
We already know what we're doing.
It's very fitting with what we've discussed, like moving our project into doing. So it's cool that you're learning how to do that too.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Maybe we can cross paths at some point.
So we've been seeing you in the news a lot.
Yeah.
You've been hitting the headlines. So tell us what you're doing now.
I joined OnlyFans as well, because I like money, and I also
I heard it's to support your Pokemon collection.
Yeah, and Forrest's trust fund, and my wife's living, or enjoyment of furniture.
What about fashion?
And for investment purposes, but honestly, most of it is going towards Pokemon.
That's a big allocation.
I just love it. I just love it.
So are you creating content on a weekly basis, and are you Are your subscribers, are they interacting with you? They're in touch with you? You're able to kind of have an audience and connect with them?
Yeah, I'm doing great. And I talk to each and every one of the people. It's really me. It's not like someone in India or something. Honestly, I've been doing this art thing and doing this social media, trying to get people to read my art thing for like 9 years now, maybe. And nobody really gave a poop until this OnlyFans thing blew up. So it's really refreshing to see something connect and to have people now interested in my art and what I'm up to. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
And like, he's a top creator on OnlyFans. It's not like he's on OnlyFans. You're in the top, 70.1?
Top 0.76%. So
wow.
Top 0.75% of creators on the platform.
But that's great because you're tapping into a whole new thing of people who are interested in you, obviously. But now you can expose them to the stuff that you really want to expose them to, which is all the other things that you've been trying to build up. So I think that's a really smart way.
So how do we find you? How do people find you on there?
I think you just type in Marston Hefner on OnlyFans and you can find me there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's spell Marston's name for our listeners.
Yeah, that's Marston, and then of course Hefner, Hefner.
Okay. Wow.
Is there specialty content that you do for OnlyFans?
Well, Andy and I, because Andy, it's wild because Andy and I were like, he's part of the family. So we grew up together talking about history and stuff at the dining room table. And now he's helping me out with the business side of this stuff. And we're doing a dick mold. Like we're like molding, like making my penis into a dildo.
I mean,
it's
not far off from what you grew up in, though. I mean, it's not like you've branched off into some weird business. This is like a Girls Next Door episode. Like making a mold of something, So
I need a little clarification. When you say we're,
yeah,
we're doing.
To be clear,
who's doing the molding?
Who's setting the mold?
Yeah, who's setting the mold?
I have not debuted on OnlyFans yet, but
Will we see this in chocolate?
Wow. Ooh, chocolate.
Edibles,
Candles.
This is kind of funny. I'm doing a flashback. Marston, do you remember your birthday where we set up and you did these wax molds of your hands and made them into candles?
Yep.
And now I'm thinking about that. This is crazy. It's
Destiny.
like, Destiny. Like all of a sudden you're doing this now.
That might hurt.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry for all the nonsense I put you through. We took those wax hands and we just threw them on the ground and we threw them at each other. We were just barbarians.
I mean, you grew up next, there were monkeys in the backyard and all kinds of animals. So I'm sure,
fun,
you guys were just having fun. You could do whatever you wanted.
I could tell you on behalf of myself, the Butler staff, kitchen staff, we love you kids. And, even all your antics, we were all laughing with you guys. We always thought it was funny. We were like going, man, I would do that. If I have the capability to do it, I totally would have done that. So, I think it's cool. But we're always there for you and we love you, man. And I'm just so stoked that you're willing to come on with us. And we'd love to.
So thrilled you came on this podcast.
I don't know if you're
your family. That's what's most important to me. That's not.
I love you, kid. I love you, man. Thank you.
I love you too.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up. Again, Marston, how does everybody follow you? What do you like, social media? Do you have
Twitter,
websites? How do we
Insta?
find you?
I think it's just Marston Hefner on Instagram and Marston Hefner on OnlyFans. And go
Perfect.
For it.
Perfect. All right, okay. Marston, thank you so much. I'm Brian Olea.
I'm Victoria Fuller.
Jennifer Pershing.
Andrew Schwab.
Scott Ramsey.
Marston, we love you, man. And
the mayhem continues.
And there it is.
Yay!
Right on. You're a rock star.